We're going to go right now. We're going to move up our schedule a little bit. We want to thank East Head football coach Gary Griffin for pinch hitting for us because he wasn't until the next segment. So thanks, Coach, for helping us out a little bit.
Hey, no problem, guys. No problem at all.
Hey, 1 week done of camp. How's it been going, Coach?
Oh, man, it's been awesome. High level. Kids are working their butts off. It's been hot, a lot of sweating, and my fat butt has sweated a lot too. So it's helping me and helping our staff. One of our guys, Dave Lance, was about had to have been close to 300 last year. He's about 225 now. Him and his wife have been on a diet, and I told him all this heat is what did it. And every pound he lost, I gained. So.
Hey, how has the summer program been? We've really seen an increase in summer activity, probably over the last 5-10 years. How has the summer program been at East, trying to get you prepared for this moment with practice starting?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a no-brainer now. If you want to compete, you got to spend time with your kids in the summertime, and you got to use those contact days. I'm a long-time Wisconsin guy, and we had 5 days of contact in Wisconsin, and being down here, it's a ton different having all those days because you create a bunch of different situations, especially if your coaching staff are not teachers. So I'm pretty fortunate that I have a few teachers on my staff and a few guys that own businesses. So the guys are here. We were with our guys 23 days this summer, and it was amazing. Our attendance is great. Kids work their butts off in the weight room when it's 100 degrees outside, and we're just trying to change the attitude. We want to always claim to be blue collar guys and work hard, and that's what our guys have been doing. They come, they punch in, they handle their business, they punch out, and they're right back the next day getting after it.
It seems like teaching football is easy. Teaching mental attitude and changing that's a lot tougher, isn't it, Coach?
Absolutely, but ever since day one, it's going to be my third season. Ever since day one when I got here, I've told everybody, and I keep preaching it, is that we're not worrying about winning and losing football games. That don't happen on its own. Our job is to create great young men that are productive, that are great fathers, great husbands, and they just work their butts off in their normal life. And football is just a tool that we use to reach those goals.
Hey, you talked about hitting the weight room and things like that. I know, in years past where some of the Rockford schools were behind, until we've seen some turnaround is in the physicality. The athletic part wasn't always an issue, but the physicality was. Do you feel like you guys are increasing that physicality to compete at a higher level?
Well, I thought we've actually tried to be physical all the last 2 years that I've been here. We just didn't have the physical kids. Last year we got a little stronger, and we had some games where we were able to push some guys around a little bit. And this year, again, we're coming to a situation where we're still playing younger guys. Our Aiden Gutrich kid, the freshman, started at right tackle for us all year last year. He's going to be a 4-year starter. He's just a big physical kid, and we're going to do those things. Our style is to be physical and push people around, and the only way we can do that is because we got a strength guy that has worked his butt off during the school year with our kids in strength class, and he was here 3 days a week in the summer, and our kids are working hard. So, with our style of play, we have to be physical, and being bigger and stronger really matters.
You look at leadership on a team. How kind of leaders do you have this year over for the ERAB Nation?
Well, I'll tell you, we got a group of seniors that have struggled a little bit in winning and losing games since they've been here at East, and they're not real vocal guys. But our juniors that were sophomores last year, obviously they've stepped up and taken over that leadership role, and the kids that you always see are our backs, our running backs, and our DBs. And it seems like right now those guys are the guys that are doing a great job. You got Kedrick Hardy and Jalen Griffin, and then on the defensive side you got the guys Rivers and Stallings. Those guys are all speaking up and getting after it, and obviously adding the Hayes kid has helped a ton with those guys because he's just been a winner. You got a kid that comes in that's won 33 games in high school in 3 years, and our guys have been a part. The guys that are seniors here have been a part of 3 wins on the varsity level in 3 years. It's definitely a benefit for them and for the program.
Obviously a player like that can help change culture, but also he's just a dynamic player. What kind of things does that maybe open up for you offensively or defensively this year?
Well, he'll definitely quarterback the defense and lead the defense. And we've been fortunate that the mentality that I brought and the idea that I brought that we're going to play on one side of the ball, we've been able to do that. So our guys have played on one side of the ball, and we've done that ever since I've been here. We haven't had anybody that started on both sides of the ball, and we probably never will as long as our numbers stay where they are, We had a big freshman group last year that won 7 games, and it was 34 of those guys. And our sophomore group is still at 22. They're 22 juniors now. Those guys are going to be on the field, and we're gonna try to do our best to keep guys on one side of the ball or another.
I know when you first came, you didn't have a chance to put a staff together, but it seems like you feel pretty comfortable with the guys you have on the sidelines with you for this season.
Absolutely. We're returning all of our guys from last year, and we picked up a guy that's been night and day for us. A kid that played at Northern, Alex Kube, a Cary Grove kid. He does this Elite 7 stuff, and he has his own training facility and those kind of things. And getting him has just been amazing. He's a younger guy, and he brings what the old grumpy man Griffin does not bring to the table, and that's the opportunity to hoot and holler and cartwheel and do all those fun things with the kids. And he's just been a breath of fresh air for us. And we got all of our guys returning at position. Our position coaches are all returning. Our coordinators at every level are returning. So our kids are comfortable with who we have, and adding one more guy has just been amazing for us.
How are the numbers with the program? We've seen some programs with numbers down, but as you guys are trying to build up a program, are you seeing an increase in numbers?
Well, we're consistent. We're consistent. I got here, I think it was about 55 guys. Last year we ended with 124. Right now we're at about 106, I think we're at. I'm going to say by the time school starts and all those freshmen come back out, right now we only have 21 freshmen. Last year we had 32 freshmen at this time. I would say when school started and we got going here the next week, that freshman level will be up to about 30. And then, we'll have a couple of kids that couldn't be around this summer. They had to work or they had to do other things. So I would be sure we'll be right around 115, 120.
How about special teams, Coach? What does it look like for East this year?
Well, I'll tell you, I've always been a guy that wanted to go for 2 because I never had a kicker, and last year our kicker would kick 30 and 40 and do very, very well, and the second I got over by him, he wouldn't make one at all. And so it's been awesome this year. I went over by him and I whispered in his ear and I told him that he had to work harder if he ever wanted to kick one in a game. And he goes 11 for 13 on me from 35 out. So we're hoping, obviously there's a whole lot of things that go into that, the hold, blocking, the snap, and the timing and all those things. But we're hoping maybe we'll get to kick a few and that he'll be able to help us. Special team-wise, as far as returning goes, you got a kid like Hayes, he'll return some kicks and punts. We got a couple other kids, Tavion Horton and Kevon Evans, and then a kid, Craig Stallings. They'll all return the ball for us, and we'll always do well going down and covering kicks. We just want to be able to to return some.
A lot of different styles of offense in the conference, a lot of high-powered offenses. Defensively, what are you guys going to look to try to do to kind of combat some of the different styles?
We want to tackle. Can I answer that question in one word?
Sure.
We want to tackle. Last year we had some very, very, very good athletes. Those guys are all up playing in college and stuff. We had some very good athletes, but we didn't have football smart kids, and that was our deal every day, was teaching football to them. And now we're in a situation where we have some kids that have been in our program for a couple years, and they're already accustomed to what we do and know what we expect. And so we just want those guys to tackle and fly around and depend on each other, I think.
Is a playoff a good goal for you guys this year, you think, Coach?
Well, the playoffs are a good goal every year. I mean, if you're not trying to get in the playoffs, you're not doing something right. For us, we just want to compete every day. We want to be 1-0 every week. That's what we're going. We're going in. That's our goal. That's our goal, to be 1-0 every week. And if we can do that and play from top to bottom, we'll be okay.
What's going to be the key? We've seen East, over the last few years, be competitive in some games, things like that. Obviously won a few there. What's going to be the key to maybe taking that next step? Finishing off a few games and maybe competing against that top level of the conference.
Well, you hit it right on the nose. It's finishing. Mm-hmm. It's finishing. We go into a few games last year, and we were up at the end of the first quarter, at the end of the first half, and a couple games we were up pretty big at the end of the first quarter. It's being able to sustain what we're doing. Our goal is to never give you the ball. Last year we had 4 drives that were over 8 minutes. 4. And one drive was 14 and a half minutes. Mm-hmm. We have to hold on to the ball so you don't get it. And then when you do get it, we have to be able to tackle so you don't freaking score. And once we get to that point, then things will change over here, and people will know what's coming every week,
Hey, thanks, Coach, for taking time and for helping us out with a earlier interview than scheduled. We sure appreciate it, and good luck to the E-Rabs this year.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
We've been talking with Gary Griffin, the head football coach over at East, and the main word is...
Finish. Tackle.
Finish and tackle. There's
tackle.
2 main words.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, but he's right, though. They've been right there in a few games, up early, those kind of things. And, next thing you know, they just can't hang on to it. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do those 2 things.
I saw the 14-minute drive, too. It was impressive.